Welcome to Actuate Academy's 6th session on blockchain basics, the structure of the essence of tokenization, a technology that is a civilizational turning point, a new architecture of recognition. For Africa and the Caribbean, it is a road to Damascus moment. The scales fall from our eyes, and we begin to see value where the world once saw only void. Tokenization becomes a moral lens, awakening hidden wealth and dignity long overlooked. Let's begin by setting the frame for today's lesson. We'll explore the essence of tokenization, why it matters for Africa and the Caribbean, and how it converts dignity into property, property into capital, and capital into opportunity. We'll look at pioneering projects like TokenBRICK, Mumbai Token, and Exion Finance. And we'll see why capital acquisition is the missing ingredient that makes tokenization succeed. Now, let's talk about tokenization as revelation. Tokenization reveals what was always there. It performs 3 great conversions. First, it converts the invisible into visible, unregistered land, unbanked entrepreneurs, informal labor, untracked harvests, uncaptured intellectual property. All of these hidden forms of capital become legible and transferable. Second, it converts recognition into property. Tokens formalize rights, fractionalize ownership, and anchor them on blockchain records that cannot be manipulated or erased. Third, it converts property into capital. Once tokenized, assets become financeable, liquid, and able to attract investment. This is the miracle. Tokenization turns the poor from problems into partners, and partners into producers. Africa's wealth problem is not poverty. As Hernando de Soto observed, Africa is rich in dead capital, trillions of dollars locked in informal property, unregistered lands, untracked healthcare outcomes, unmonetized creativity, undercapitalized agriculture, and ignored scientific ingenuity. Tokenization is the key that unlocks this trap. It reveals, records, and redeems wealth that has always been present but unseen. Why does tokenization matter now? Because formal registries remain broken or inaccessible. Bureaucratic systems exclude the poor. Diaspora investors lack structured on-ramps. Banks refuse to lend without collateral. And global markets cannot see African value. Tokenization solves all of these challenges simultaneously. It is not just convenience, it is emancipation. Let's move to a signature use case, TokenBRICK. In cities like Lagos, Nairobi, Accra, and Dar es Salaam, millions live on land with informal tenure. Their homes exist, their communities flourish, but legally their wealth does not exist. TokenBRICK changes this by tokenizing land parcels and housing blocks, fractionalizing ownership into tokens, allowing diaspora investors to fund development, creating liquidity pools for trading, and embedding governance through smart contracts. TokenBRICK is recognition, registration, and liquidity woven into one mechanism. TokenBRICK also solves 4 critical challenges at once: documentation, financing, liquidity, and governance. Land becomes visible, verified, investable, and governable. But vision without capital is hallucination. Tokenization requires liquidity pools, market makers, stablecoin pairs, assurance capital, and diaspora participation. Capital is the bloodstream of tokenization. Liquidity is its breath. Africa's assets are abundant, but mobilized capital is scarce. This is why IDE Ventures Capital LP and Actuate Capital are being structured to raise $25 million to seed early tokenization projects. Housing through TokenBRICK. Health outcomes through Mumbai Token. Remittance rails through Exion Finance. Agricultural futures and scientific IP. These funds are not just investors. They are liquidity engines for Africa's tokenized economy. Tokenization is not limited to land. Africa's vast stores of unmonetized value can be unlocked across many domains. Tangible assets, land, housing, solar farms, clinics, water systems, fisheries, mangroves. Intellectual assets, patents, scientific data, creative works, cultural heritage, skills, and credentials. Human and social capital, verified competencies, workforce training, governance rights, reputation tokens. Outcomes and public goods, dailies averted, vaccine events, carbon removal, jobs created, women-led ventures funded. Tokenization creates a new grammar of assets. Across Africa, tokenization applies to agriculture, health, education, energy, culture, and environment. Tokenized forward harvests finance farmers before planting. Outcome-linked health tokens fund clinics. Tokenized diplomas make education verifiable. Solar microgrid tokens enable community energy ownership. Royalty-sharing NFTs empower artists. Mangrove carbon tokens open conservation finance. Africa becomes an investable ecosystem. Exion Finance shows how this works with remittances. By tokenizing remittances, Exion creates instant local liquidity. With merchant APIs and stablecoin ramps, diaspora investment becomes programmable. Exion completes the loop, global to local and back to global. Exion tokenization is more than economics. It is a civilization shift. It restructures ownership, identity, community wealth, diaspora participation, property rights, and impact finance. It is the new grammar of value. In George Gilder's worldview, tokenization is liberation. It is the triumph of knowledge over materialism, creativity over centralization, recognition over erasure. It restores authorship to African creators. The final logic is simple. Dignity becomes property. Property becomes capital. Capital becomes opportunity. Opportunity becomes civilization. Africa is the engine of the new tokenized world. Tokenization is the spark. Capital is the oxygen. Africa is the engine. The future is the fire. Join the transformation. Register for the structure of the essence of tokenization at Actuate Academy. Together, we can awaken Africa's hidden wealth and write a new grammar of prosperity.